Okay, so I had a question that we were writing about this Parinama Dukkha.
Mm-hmm.
If maybe you could explain this briefly. It wasn't fully clear to me what it is, because you said we don't actually recognize this one because it is kind of
See,
expected or planned.
yes, see, the thing is this way. What is Parinama? Parinama is the way it is expected to be, meaning to say that it is, let's say today is Sunday, so it is expected, right? It cannot be anything else than Sunday. But if somebody were to say that today is Monday and had considered as Sunday, it becomes Viparinama Dukkha, because now all my plans which I had for Sunday is gone because I forgot or something happened, and then that becomes Viparinama because that was not expected. So that dukkha is different. Whereas the Parinama is the current, whatever is happening, that itself is dukkha. So there is no need to worry about the dukkha which is already there. Meaning when we get the dukkha, this Parinama is already there. So we are conditioning ourselves in a way that we don't get into a painful situation so we start doing a lot of abhisankharas to ensure that it doesn't happen. In fact, today I was reading through a post made by Lal. He speaks about the Sankhara, Abhisankhara and all that. So I remembered about this Parinama, because the dukkha, the current dukkha which is there, which we experience all the time, uh, in order to make everything, is itself a dukkha. So that is a parinama, that is the expected. So by default, there is a kind of dukkha all the time. Another example I can give you is we could not hear the voice, so that is viparinama, whereas this connection itself is the dukkha, because if it doesn't go as planned, it becomes uh, a dukkha which was unplanned for.
It seems people are listening, so I'll continue if
Yeah,
that is all right.
yeah. Please go ahead. I don't think so anybody's asking anything.
So I remember from a sermon from Venerable Amadasana Thero, he was talking about the five aggregates, and he gave an example
Mm-hmm.
that we are like a magnet running around and attracting, like the five aggregates being like tools, and we are attracting them. They come flying at us,
Mm-hmm.
in his example. And he said an Arahant, it is like somebody who has these tools in a toolbox somewhere in his basement. And when he needs to use them, he goes there and he uses them deliberately.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you, or could you explain something about how the aggregates are being different in the experience for someone who's reduced or even
See,
stopped? Yeah.
yeah, sure. See, I'll just tell you what we are actually doing. So now, when we say, let us say, when I say Lucas, what really happens? Or rather, when you say Vilas, and what really happens? You're creating a image in your mind. So let's say you have seen my photograph, or I have seen your photograph, and that is the rupa what gets created in the mind. Then we have a respective Vedana relating to that, in terms of what you have an impression over me, in terms of what I speak about the desana, or what I write, or on the Buddha Dhamma and all that, or whatever I have been talking to you. So you have a feeling, and the feeling would have the perception also together. So you have the sanya, okay, and then you have this abhisankhara. So there are three kinds of sankharas. One is the punyabhi sankhara, apunyabhi sankhara, anenjabhi sankhara. So these are the three sankharas which in turn will be there along with that rupa. So now if we are talking on Buddha Dhamma, so the body and the mind and the intellect, what we are using would be a punyabhi sankhara, because we are talking about how to liberate oneself. If we were to talk on the movies, it will be apunyabhi sankhara, because now we are getting into the so-called world. And this experiencer, that is to say that it stitches everything like the movie. So even though each is an individual frame of rupa, for that rupa there is a vedana, there is a sanya, and there's a particular work being done or the preparation being done, there is this vijnana which stitches together and then makes it like a run-through movie. So when you say vilas, what really is happening in your mind is that you're getting all of this rupa, the vedana and the sanya, and you're preparing to talk to me, and all of that is joined together as an experience for that experiencer called as the vijnana. So basically it's like the animation in the whole of this rupa. Now you have an animation happening in your mind. So it arises together and passes away together. That means to say that if now instead of vilas, either some other person coming in, those rupas will fall down, and along with that the vedana, sanya, sankharas also fall down, and in its place is replaced by that person who is coming and meeting you. So this is one way to understand the meaning of these five aggregates. Also, if you see that when we are dreaming, they are all discrete, but then they are tied together as though there is a continuous motion. And this is again created by the vijnana. So for rupa, so we can have rupa plus the vedana, sanya, sankhara within bracket and the vijnana outside. So for a particular rupa, when we say a rupa consisting of the patavi, apo, vayo, tejo, so when you say the name vilas, you're getting the nama, that is the name, and you're creating a form in your mind. So for that, whatever feeling, whatever the perception you have about me comes in along with and then you start doing the abhisankhara related to that object, and doing this whole thing is the vijnana which gives you that experience. So there is an experience and there is an experiencer. So you feel that you are experiencing me, while what you are really experiencing is only the rupa, vedana, sanya, sankhara, vijnana. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, that was very excellent. I could follow your examples. Can I ask some sub-question about it?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So the preparations to talk, for example, that would, like they would all be, and also the perception I'm having, they would all be connected with my desires, with the way, or with my expectation, what I want from this talk, or how I, like I can see that this is connected with many other things. And so, but then Arahant, he might still do a preparation before a talk, right? He might still maybe remember something relevant to the talk or think about how he could help someone. Is that correct? Or?
Yes, it's correct. So he will not be having any abhisankhara. He will still be doing just like a sankhara. It is only a kriya. He doesn't have an expectation. With all of us, there is an expectation. So each preparation has an expectation what it should be. So we condition the sankharas. And this conditioning are of three types, which is the punyabhi sankhara, apunyabhi sankhara, and anenjabhi sankhara. Whereas for an arhat, it's only sankhara. There are no these three categories what we put into. The anenjabi we don't experience because we only can be experienced in jhana. Whereas the other two, we keep on doing it all the time. So in the morning, I was talking to Axel, so I gave him a nice analogy on this. Let's say I was explaining to him about my visit to Sri Lanka some years ago. So 2018, I went to Sri Lanka to meet Amadasana Thero, and in 2004, I had been to Sri Lanka to enjoy with my family. So the Rupa, that is, I need to. The Sri Lanka is a good place. I can enjoy. There are beaches, then there are mountains, there is this and that. Is the Rupa what I've created in my mind? For that, there is a feeling that I need to go and experience that. And for that, there are this Sanya, which talks about where is Sri Lanka and how do I book the flight, and all of that is the booking the flight and going there, booking hotels, and all that is a preparation, which is the Sankhara. So I had a Punya Sankhara, which I was doing it because I want to go for an enjoyment to that place. But what I'm really enjoying there is only Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo. There's nothing else I will be enjoying. But still the mind through the Vijnana feels that there is something to be enjoyed or something to be relished, or there is some thing to be done there. Whereas when I went in the year 2018, my whole objective was to go to Dharmaya Yobai. So I didn't have any interest towards any one of this. So I was only interested in going and meeting Amadasana Thero over there. So it was the same place and the same airport what had landed, but the sankharas were different. If I were an Arhat, let us say, I wouldn't care a damn about whether it is Sri Lanka or it is London or anything, because they all are for me Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo, and nothing else. So I would not be doing any Abhi Sankhara at all. So there would be a Rupa, still that the toolbox has this Rupa, and still there is a Vedana. That means I need to experience that feeling. So when I land there in a particular place, there's a feeling of that landing. Then there is a Sanya, which says that you are in so-and-so country and so-and-so place, so that would remain. But there is no wow effect, like, if I were to be in London, or if I were to be in Austria, or if I'm in Swiss Alps or French Alps, let us say. So there's no excitement, wow, it's such a nice place. That wouldn't be there. So the Sankharas here are just Kriyas. So that means they just like work. So just like you go and relieve yourself when you drink water, you go and urinate, or that's what Buddha explains in terms of Sabba Sankhareshu Anicca Sanya. He says Atti Ati Harayati Jigucchati. That means it's just like going to urination and defecation. Or another example I could give you is like yawning. You just yawn. You don't have anything to say why it is good to yawn or why it is bad to yawn. If you feel like yawning, you're going to yawn. Or it's just like breathing, or just like we keep on our eyelashes keeps on going up and down as we are doing something. So all those are sankharas. The whole body movement is a sankhara, but we do abhisankhara. So that wouldn't be there in an arhat. He will just do everything as he would do for a normal sankhara. So the vijnana doesn't bring him an experiencer and an experienced. They would not exist at all. Vijnana is there, but it is only jnana. It is not vijnana. So he knows that there is no need for him to acquire these rupas and the particular vedana, particular sanya, particular sankhara, and the particular feeling through the vijnana, because he knows that all of those are khandas. That means they're heaps. So he doesn't do anything with that. He just goes, picks it up, uses it, and throws it off. He doesn't keep it like what we try to keep it, either as a memories. So if you see that when somebody goes to a particular place, he clicks the photographs and comes back, or he takes the videos and comes back, so that he can replay it and relive that again. Whereas in the case of an arhat, he wouldn't do it all, because he doesn't care much of it, because it is only Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo, Varna, Rasa, Gandha, Oja. That's what he sees everything as. So there's no person, there is no being, there is no place, or there's nothing to be enjoyed or suffered there. Did I answer?
Yes, excellent. Thank you. It sounds so peaceful what you describe. It makes me very happy to reflect on it.
Thank you.
I have a related question also about this.
Yeah.
We say, or it is said that we are attached to each one of the five aggregates. And so we are attached to the Sankhara as well. So could you
Right.
briefly say how, in what way this manifests or how we can see that?
Okay, so very simple. Now let's look at discord. Aren't we attached to what we are discussing on chat? And we have created a pattern. And not only that, we have created a sort of expectation that what each member is going to discuss. So all of that is a sankhara. All that is basically not just sankhara, it is abhisankhara. So we, what we can say, we would like to do the same thing again and again so that there is nothing to guess, that instability we don't want to experience. But if somebody were to say something different than what is expected, then becomes the Viparinama Dukkha will start. And because the Sankharas, what was expected has gone wrong, or they were not expected in the way it is now coming into existence. So we are attached to the particular Sankharas which has to be coming in all the time. Otherwise, there would be a kind of issues in our mind. So we would like it to get resolved. So we start doing abhisankharas to get over that. So because we are attached to that particular sankharas.
So in that example, I could be attached to a sankhara that you are doing. Did I understand that correctly? Or to something that someone else is doing? Or
Okay. Now, let us say if we take Discord, let's say there are around 20 people or 15 people who regularly interact and chat and discuss. And so let's take that as an example. So there is a predetermined event which is set on how these people are going to discuss, so that there is this pattern which doesn't change. So that itself is an attachment to the sankhara. If the pattern were to change by either one of the person, the other people feel that heat, the tapa immediately, because it, for one of the person, it turned into Viparinama Dukkha now. Okay, so if the person is not attached to that at all, or none of us are attached to that discussions, you will not have any dukkha of Viparinama, because there is no attachment to the particular sankhara what we are doing. Even that typing it out and chatting and discussing and all of that is part of sankhara. What we are trying to do there is punyabhi sankhara, because we are discussing on the Buddha Dhamma. We are not discussing on movies or anything, entertainment or anything like that. But the moment somebody puts something which is not the as per the norm set within that sankhara, it becomes a different kind of dukkha, which is the Viparinama Dukkha. And then because there is an attachment to that particular sankharas, what we expected it to be, and now it is not like that, there would be a heat generated, the tapa generated. So then we suffer. Whoever is the person there is going to suffer. And because one of them is suffering, starts to suffer out of it, he or she writes something and then some other person has to answer to it. So this now goes into a loop because there is attachment to the sankhara. The person doesn't give up the view that it can happen that way. So we get attached to the views, and that is also part of the sankharas. So everything is sankhara oriented actually. And since we attach to that feeling, and the sanya and everything is sankhara oriented, we ultimately get attached totally to the sankhara. Did I answer?
Thank you, Vilas. I think I understood a bit better, yes. So does anyone else want to ask a question, or? Are you happy to continue, Vilas, or?
Yes, very much. I'm okay.
Very good. So if somebody else wants to ask a question, they, yeah, I guess they don't want, they just want to listen. Okay. So about the Sankhara Dukkha, I was reflecting on this Sankhara Dukkha and how I was reflecting with, for example, we are having this Sankhara Dukkha like for things like shaving or bathing, which is all right. It is also there for someone who is an Arahant. But for example, this what you explained with the restaurant, going to this restaurant and all the Sankhara Dukkha connected with that, it will fall away once we no longer are looking for this asada, right?
Correct.
And I thought the second one that is going to fall away is all the worry and like the Sankhara, that is Sankhara Dukkha, that is connected with attachment to things. That would be either the worry or the lustful thoughts about things, how to acquire something and all of this. That
Right.
would also be the one that would fall away. Is that correct?
Yes. When the conditions are no longer able to sustain, the dependency also goes away. So everything will fall away. So the restaurant which was looking good for me no longer is good because the conditions are totally changed and the whole dependency is gone. So as long as the condition is met, I feel the restaurant is okay. Sorry.
So
Yeah.
actually in this example, when about the restaurant you explained, they changed the manager and now I don't want to go there anymore. I'm actually, in reality, I'm relieved of all the Sankhara Dukkha of trying to maintain this condition.
Yes, that's true.
Okay. And about,
Because, yeah, so sorry.
no, I'm sorry, please continue.
No, because that new management which has come into existence is not doing what I wanted them to do. So I'm relieved out of that condition because I no longer have to go to that restaurant anymore.
But the thing is, I still want to relish the sense pleasure, so I'm just going to try to find something else, not realizing that I was actually relieved of pain by not having to go to that restaurant anymore.
Yes, because there is avidya there. So I now search something else in that. So if I am a person who know Buddha Dhamma, then I will understand that I'm already relieved of those. So I have already have viraga and I have got nirodha. So basically I'm relieved of that pain. So I just don't get attached to that restaurant feeling anymore. But if I am a normal person, then I feel hurt or that things have changed and I blame, and then in future I would not go to that restaurant, but I will search something else which is supposed to be giving me the asada of food and touch and all that in another restaurant.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yes, I think that were my questions, the questions I had.
Okay. So nobody else is writing any questions.
We could briefly talk about what you said, or what we said. We would talk about this, the drawbacks of the sense pleasures and the advantages of renunciation, where you said you could be describing this with the etan, Santhan, Karmasthana, if you wanted. Or we
Yes,
can,
I can. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, we can do that. That Ethan Santhan, right?
exactly.
Hello, Lucas. You want me to go over that Ethan Santhan, Ethan Panithan?
I was thinking, but we actually, you covered it with me in the talk we did, which I also listened to.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe the others, they would like to hear it. I'm not sure what they would like to. Oh, there is one question. I
Okay,
I
let's
can,
see.
yeah, it's in the chat.
Yes, I'm just opening. I'm on the 1 minute.
I can read it to you if you want, if that's more convenient.
Yeah, sure, if you can do that.
So it's a question from Paul. He said, I have only one question at the moment that I couldn't find the answer to really on pure Dhamma. It's about the two different versions of Mara, Mara Deva and Klesha Mara. I can understand the Klesha Mara, but not so much Mara Deva. If you could briefly explain about what Mara Deva is and can do.
Okay, so there are 5 Maras, and one of them is the Devaputta Mara. So what is this Devaputta Mara? I'll just tell you. So there are 10 armies of Mara. I think I had written that some time ago on the Discord of these 10 types. So Kama, Te, Patamas, Sena, like that. It goes to explain about each one of these 10 kind of Mara. But there is a Deva, a god like Mara, which Buddha experienced. So it's from the Buddha's experience point of view, not in terms of the Klesha Mara, because he explained only about the Kleshas, which keeps on arriving. So the sensual lust and all that, which comes to us moment to moment, is itself the Mara. So how do I see this this Devaputta Mara? So that Devaputta Mara is one of the realms of existence where he resides. So his job is to make people enjoy the sense pleasure. So that's what I know about it. So there is this sensual lust, which is the ownership of the Devaputta Mara. So what he does is that he ensures that the person does not get liberated, and he would like this mind to exist in the samsara. And he has that tremendous wielding power of Kama and Arati. That is, Kama is the sensual and Arati is the dissatisfaction. So basically, we have this dissatisfaction in everything we do. So we keep on generating the same amount of lust and the same amount of hatredness, because there is this dissatisfaction. So by chance, if we were to destroy this and then have the mind filled with satisfaction, then the Devaputta Mara cannot modify the mind of that being. So since the mind is directly controlled with the Devaputta Mara, he fills in these kleshas inside the mind. So that's how it's explained about Devaputta Mara. So can we go and meet him? I have no idea about it, because it's a realm of existence in the Deva Loka, part of the Kama Loka. So I have no experience on that. Does that answer, Paul?
He wrote, yes, thank you.
Okay. And he's again typing something. No, he's not typing. I don't know. Okay. He's typing. Actually, Lucas, there was this Craig. I think it stopped recording is what it has put here. Failed to join. If I persistently fail to join, it may be an issue with the voice server. I only hope it is again recording because it has not failed. Okay.
After you explained the first bit about the Dukkha Dukkha, I noticed it and I had re-invited him. So from that on, what we talked about the 5 aggregates, about the Arahant and about the attachment to Sankhara and about the Sankhara Dukkha and now about the Devaputta Mara, and Mara should all be recorded.
Oh, great. Okay. So then we will go through that Etan, Santhan, Etan, Panitan, how a person can go into all kind of experiences. Should we do that?
I'm very much up for it.
Okay. So this is for establishing jhana. The first and second and the third and the fourth jhana, the Arya jhanas can be experienced using this beautiful information given to Girimananda by Buddha in this Girimananda Sutta. So if you have gone through the Girimananda Sutta, he talks about dasa sanya or 10 sanyas. In that he talks about viraga sanya, nirodha sanya, and he gives this beautiful rendering which can elevate a person by putting this as a Karmasthana and then going deep into it and then ultimately reaching to the 4th jhana. So let's start, and I hope all of you along with me would be able to enter into the first and the second and the third jhana, or at least the second jhana, by doing this. So there are 5 stages. So one is the first stage is called as Vitakka, and the second one is Vichara, the third is the Piti and the Sukha and Ekagrata. So these are the 5 states in each one of these jhana. So when we start, basically what happens is that we start with Vitakka Vichara, and the second jhana there is no Vitakka Vichara, there is only Piti, Sukha, Ekagrata, and the third jhana there is no Piti, there is only Sukha and Ekagrata, and in the 4th jhana there is only Ekagrata. So this is how this whole thing will work. So what it really means about the Vitakka. So generally this Etan, Santhan, Etan, Panitan can be recited for, let's say, 5 times or 10 times or 20 times or as many times as a person wishes to block other thoughts from interfering. So let us say I am having the kama desires now in my mind. So I'm in a absolute crossroads of having the bodily sensations which are filled with lust. So I have lust for, let's say, objects, or I have lust for the human bodies. So I find it beautiful. So what I need to do now is that I start saying Etan, Santhan, Etan, Panitan, Yadidam, Sabba, Sankhara, Samatho, Sabbupadi, Patinisaggo, Tanhakhayo, Virago, Nirodho, Nibbananti. So like that, if I do for, let's say, 10 times in a continuous succession, then what happens is that the mind presently gets relieved of that sensual lust, because I'm cutting off that or suppressing of that intent. So let's say in front of me right now, I have an object which I desire to possess. So I close my eyes and even then this object can be seen in my mind's eye. So I can keep on saying etan, Santhan, etan, panitan, yadidam, sabba sankhara samatho, sabbupadi, patinisaggo, tanhakhayo, virago, nirodho, nibbananti, etan, santan, etan, panitan, yadidam, sabba sankhara samato, sabbupadi, patinisaggo, tanhakhayo, virago, nirodho, nibbananti. Like this, I can even make it very, what I can say, I can make it even more subtler. That is very slowly I can utter so that the effect is even more profound. So like this, I can do it like etan santan etan panitan yadidam sabba sankhara samato sabbupadi patinisaggo tanhakhayo virago nirodho nibbananti etan santan etan panitan. When I'm doing that, I need to only listen to my sound and also where my tongue and the lips and everything is contracting and touching and all that. So I need to concentrate on that. Yadidam sabba sankhara samato sabbupadi patinisaggo tanhakhayo virago nirodho nibbananti. So like that I can do and the javana power increases. So now what I do is from vitakka, I will get into vichara. So what I do now in vichara is that I will try analyzing each one of these. That is, I try investigation of what each one means. So etan, this is. So what is this? This represents the mind. Santhan, sa plus anta. Anta is ending. Sa is self. If this mind were to give up the identification as I am doing this, I am doing that, I existed in the past, I am existing now, and I'm existing in the future, I like this, I don't like this, it should have been like this, it should not have been like this. This feeling, what I'm getting as I, is a combination of 5 aggregates. The Rupa, its associated Vedana, so this sensual lust about an object which is coming in my mind, I want that. So my mind is pained to possess. So there is a feeling of that. So there is Vedana. The Sanya or perception is that this is good for me. But they are made out of only Patavi, Apo, Vayo, Tejo, which I can definitely not possess. So I am giving up to possess that. Sankhara is where I'm doing all of the effort in order to possess that object, which by itself arises, by itself passes away. Be it human, be it material, be it an idea, be it a thought, be it a feeling related to that thought, they arise and pass away. And the Vijnana, this consciousness, which makes this animation possible, will animate good things, also animates bad things. So this mind is pained by this animation. So let me give up of these 5 aggregates, 5 khandas, which arises and pass away. So then there is no feeling as I, because this is happening ajhatta, that is inside, bahidha, outside. That means this object which I am thinking as a friend, or this object which I am thinking as wife, or the girlfriend, or a beautiful, or an ugly, or whatever I am thinking, is just a fabrication of this mind. So I will give up right now. It's of no use. So now I've given up. So that is Santhan. Etan, this Panitan, which is excellent or profound. Now I look in my mind, does that object exist in the way it was existing earlier? And I don't see that object at all. Right now, my mind is rid out of that object. So if I were to apply the Chittanupassana, at present, I don't have the Kama Raga in my mind. And the associated Dhamma, or these thoughts and impressions, are also not there. How was this possible? So I start investigation. Yadi idam, when this is done, the question is, what is being done? Sabba Sankhara Samato. Sabba means all. Sankhara means the preparation or the actions which are being done with an intent. And this Chetana is the intent. This Chetana can be used for good intention and the bad intention. Right now, because of the kama, raga, I had the bad intention in my mind to possess this object. Samatha is tranquility. I am treating this as drinking water and going for urination. Do I have to hold the urination? No. Do I have to like the urination? No. Will I be able to get rid of that urination? No. Will I be able to keep that urination, that urine with me? No. It's a normal way of living. So this object also is something which is created because of necessary conditions. So if I say this person is my friend, is because, not because there is something called as a friend there, because there are necessary conditions which are in place. And this friendship is dependent on that. So if something is conditioned and something is dependent, it's going to be dukkha. Similarly, if I say my wife, then it is the same dukkha, because wife is a condition and that relationship is dependent on that condition. If I say I'm in this forum, it's conditioned because my existence in this forum is dependent, and that is dukkha. So the samatha is I am not bothered about the condition and the dependencies. So this object in my mind no longer attracts me or makes me repel with that, because this object in my mind is conditioned. It is conditioned by the asavas what I have. It's conditioned by the lust feeling or the hatred feeling what I have in my mind. If those conditions were not to be present, these wouldn't have been there in the first place. So now I watch it. I don't do any abhisankharas. And because of that, I feel very tranquil. I'm able to see that very thought object is not there right now. Sabbupadi. Sabba is all. Upadi is utpada. Utpada means creating, developing, protecting, maintaining, sustaining, and making it as mine. So in this body, consisting of 32 body parts, which are totally independent, but yet dependent on the consciousness, have their own functions. They don't ask my permission. Should I do this? Should I not do this? The heart doesn't ask me. The liver doesn't ask me. The spleen doesn't ask me. Nobody asks me at all. But I still find this is mine. This body is mine. This mind is mine. This friend is mine. This wife is mine. This husband is mine. This house is mine. Everything is mine. But all of them are independent. Just like my breath, I have no idea how this breath goes in and how this breath goes out. The same thing in ajjatta, that is inside me, and bahidda, outside in other person. If it is a non-living thing, if it is animated, it is because of the battery. If the mobile is charged, then the mobile will work. If the charge is removed, and then the mobile stops working. Same thing with laptop. Same thing with anything we have, like a car, like a home. We require to have electricity. That means everything is dependent and everything is conditioned. So this utpada, production and sustaining that and maintaining that and developing that, all of this is not going to fetch me anything at all. It's going to make the mind get burnt out, which is the fire of the five senses. So the tapa gets generated. So I need to go for atapi sampajano. I'm using something of Mahasatipatthana Sutta because they are almost interlinked. So atapi is not burning myself. So I see the reality now. This utpada or the production is just the imagination or fabrication of the mind. I cannot possess anything at all. And it is pati. Pati is bonding. So I get bound by that. Now this binding is the one which creates craving, tanha. If I were not to be bound by that or attached to that, to this utpada, the production, then there is no thing called as dukkha, because dukkha is arising because of that condition. If I were to remove that condition, which is sankhata, and make it asankhata, then pati nissaggo. Nissagga means coming out of it. So I am coming out of the condition. So which I am if I am coming out of the condition, there is no more fire in the mind. Immediately the tanha, craving, khayo, it ceases or diminishes. Virago, now this object is not at all seen. I was seeing it earlier. Now I don't see it at all. It's gone. Not for good, but it is gone. Nirodho, it is not arising. Nibbananti, Nibbana is, now I feel utter blissful. There is nothing in the mind except for this etan Santhan, etan panitan, yadidam sabba sankhara samatho, sabbupadi patinisagho, tanhakhayo, virago, nirodho, nibbananti. That's all what he's having. So I reflect upon this vitakka and vichara for few minutes and then I stop. And because of that stopping, this mind seizes itself of these attachments and that becomes piti. It's a very joyous. So I'm in the second jhana now because my mind is filled with joy of understanding etan Santhan, etan panitan. Now I can feel the vibrations in the body. There is no longer body at all. It's like somebody is giving me a nice massage and I'm feeling so relaxed. And this is sukha. And now I drop that also. And the mind restlessness is totally gone. So this is ekagrata. I have only the sukha feeling, as though that's all what was there initially. The remaining things were all fabricated, were all imagined, were all conditioned, were all felt. Now that feeling, that conditioning, that sankharas, the craving or the tanha to those sankharas, the khandas have all perished. This is peace. Okay, so I'm coming back now. Am I the only person then? No, okay. That's all I had. So should we end the desana? Okay, I will then drop off and we'll meet again. Thank you very much.